Man, L, welcome to episode 2 of Soul of Comedy. Today, we get to talk to Baldhead. He's in town for like a little bit, so we're gonna catch him, have some breakfast, and this is gonna be fun, man. Let's talk.
Good?
Blessed, man.
Can't complain.
That's blessed. Oh yeah, shout out to Starlight Dino over here, man.
Yeah.
By the way, 83rd and Carroty.
Yeah.
How'd you get in the game?
I really got in the game off of Dare, man. Like, it was a spot on 63rd and Peoria called Malibu Lounge.
Okay.
And they used to have these talent shows. Me, I used to just watch the talent show. But this particular time, my little brother Jimmy, and there was this girl he liked. She was on stage doing poetry. And I was like, man, that girl, garbage. Shit. So I'm roasting her. I'm really heckling her.
Okay.
And I'm doing it, signified joking. And my brother was like, man, you always talking about somebody. I bet you won't go up on that stage and do that. I was like, shit, yes, I will. We'll crack jokes with everybody. So that's what I did. And I won the contest. It wasn't never like $100. So then all of a sudden, my brother whole image turned like, oh, you won $100. We finna go eat. No, you going home.
You going home with that garbage girl.
That garbage girl. I'm finna go eat breakfast. She look like she go to a nigga named James.
She definitely got a nigga named Edward at the house.
Named Rufus.
Her side nigga named Gene.
Yeah. Rufus, I ain't talked to Gene in years. He could be dead.
You still talking about that shit from 1973? Let that go.
You could be dead. He's a deacon now. Bitch, I know deacons that be fucking. Deacons be fucking.
Deacons always.
One of my buddies, I Rock, was like, man, you need to just do comedy, man. And I was like, man, I ain't really, I'm a drug dealer. I ain't no damn comedian.
Right.
And then a couple more of my other friends that was comedians, Marlon Mitchell and Deion Cole, was doing these shows. Marlon kept saying, man, why don't you come over here? We doing these shows at the S-Lines. I was like, I just made $10,000 on the block. I don't give a damn about no comedy. Is it gonna be some money in it? He was like, man, it really ain't no money, man. And so he kept trying to get me to do it. One day he was like, man, you need to come through that. It'd be some bitches. I was like, what time y'all start?
So the bitches got you in the car.
I'm a bucket boy.
Yeah. So we filming and your boy decided to water the plant.
That nigga ain't never watered that.
Yeah, them plants ain't never. That water, them motherfucking gold already.
Welcome to Inglewood Branded. My man Corey, he's a what you call it, an owner and proprietor.
Oh yeah, that's real official.
I never knew what the fuck that proprietor means. This is my buddy right here, man. This is my man,
Corey.
this the owner and proprietor.
What up,
Corey.
man? Blessings, man, blessings. Yeah.
When I created Inglewood Branded, it was about bringing some light on the positivity with it. So, I do custom t-shirts for brands. I don't do like the memorial tees and things like that, because at the end of the day, this is a place where you could come and, kind of chill out, work. I employ them, I give them internships. I just, give them an outlet off the street. So I don't want them to see the repetitiveness of the memorial tee.
Yeah.
Even coming up with him and watching him evolve from getting robbed and robbing people and, stuff
God
like that.
damn it. I told these people.
Yeah.
Hazelnut crema. Hazelnut crema. I don't know why when we talk to Spanish people, we gotta talk. We talk Spanish. He didn't want to come on the camera. They looking for him over there. He done
I told you.
He done ran off on the plug.
Ran up on the blood, man. They try to keep him out of trouble.
Everything was cool until they brought that camera there.
Let me ask you this. Were you bald already when you came up with Baldhead? Or you?
I had hair. The name was created because, I had to create another person. But the name of Baldhead came out because I whooped these 2 dudes, and I was new in this penitentiary, Stillwater. And after that, they was like, man, I heard a motherfucker whoop. The nigga name was Toilet Paper and Dog. I think they were 2 Crip niggas. Man, that was the weirdest name, Toilet Paper.
Toilet Paper.
I was like, I'm not gonna be scared of no nigga named Toilet Paper. He always got shit on him, man. It's Toilet Paper. So the thing was, they kept saying, I had to go back a little bit. I had braids in my hair. And I had been in there, I was in a hole for a month to come in. They call it, I don't know what the fuck they call it, I forgot what they call it, but you gotta be in a hole for a month before you go to population.
Gotcha.
So I'm in a hole, and when I whooped the 2 dudes, right before that, I had wanted to get my hair braided. And so I seen these dudes with these fresh braids, and I was like, man,
ain't that the wildest shit when you in jail?
You don't get, I said, you get conjugal visits or something, your people braid your hair? And they was like, no. I was like, all these niggas walking around. And
gay folks braiding hair in the day room.
It was at the time that the Iverson braids started coming. It was zigzag and all that. She's calling. She wants some soap. Oh, the salt. I thought she said some soap.
We were talking about jail, and so he said that we think about soap and how not to drop it.
I mean, I dropped the soap a lot of times in jail. I just never picked it up. I rinsed off and walked out of there. But the thing of it is, when I cut my hair, because I was like, I said, who braiding all these niggas' hair? They hair fresh.
I'm talking about fresh.
He pointed to a table. It was like 4 gay dudes over there. He was like, oh, they braiding. I said, and I had hair for a while, and I know you gotta sit in between somebody's legs. I'm not sitting between no dude's legs.
No.
Who got clippers and who got a razor? This shit finna come off. My man was like, man, you finna cut your shit. I said, did fuck off? I'm not finna. I said, man, you know how many times I got my hair braided and I done dozed off? So now you think I'm finna doze off on some balls? No. So I cut my shit off. A couple of days after that, that's when I whooped dude and them. Didn't nobody really too much know my name, because I kept to myself. I'm in the Minnesota correctional facilities. You know, I'm GD, they know I'm GD. I done represented it when I came in there, but I didn't know them dudes in there. This was an Illinois correctional facility.
Right.
You know, in Illinois, I knew everybody was locked up. So when I whooped dude them, they was like, it was this bald head motherfucker. It was like some bald head motherfucker whooped the shit out of Toilet Paper and Dog in the lunchroom. So they sends me back to the hole. So I'm in the hole, and in the hole, them niggas, well, in the penitentiary, them niggas don't never go to sleep.
No.
And they keep the lights on. For 4.5 years, I felt like I was sleeping in Walmart or Jewel's. No, like, so what happened was, I started hearing niggas like, man, you heard somebody whoop Toilet Paper? Man, they whooped Dog, man, too. I said, what the fuck is they talking about? And then it was like, some bald head nigga. So I kept hearing them say, they bald head nigga, bro. So when I started thinking about, I gotta get out of here, man. I'm gonna do this comedy shit. I don't want motherfuckers knowing call me by my name, because you call me by my name, it was already the singer had that name.
Okay.
So I said, I gotta do something. So when that motherfucker was like, my buddy, Earl Mines, he was in a cell right by me. He was on the case, the other case that we had. That nigga was like, hey man, I don't know your bald head ass hear me talking to you, man. I was like, what the fuck you want? So we started talking about something. I was like, bald head. I said, hey man, don't call me Prince no more. Call me Baldhead. He said, what the fuck I'm gonna call you Baldhead for? I said, well, because I'm Baldhead now. And I want to see how it feel, because that's how I'm gonna do my comedy shit. Me and Earl was from Chicago. He from off Ada. I'm from off 61st Bishop. So he was like, all right, fuck it. And he kept always in every time he called me. And then I said, well, that's my new name. That's my new name, and that's gonna be my stage name. And the reason I said, because it's like, be a bald head is an insult. Insult. And when you call somebody that, they might be bald head or they might be joking. But if you say that's your name, and that's my name, Baldhead. Yeah. You're gonna be like, Baldhead, yeah, you said it back, you're gonna remember.
Yeah.
And then everything after that was just, you know, the image. And the image wasn't different, it was just a name, you know. Still the same dude.
But you had to shift from the streets to the stage.
Right, and then when I went in the hole, I had to get Baldhead and my government to put up Prince. Put this nigga up. This nigga gonna keep us in here. We ain't
Right.
gonna never.
Prince ain't no good.
We ain't gonna never get out of jail. We ain't gonna never stop coming back to this motherfucker. So you got to put this nigga in a hole and put chains on the doors. And if need be, bring him back out. But if need be.
What does comedy mean to you?
Comedy is, well, to me, it saved my life in a lot of ways. Because I don't even have nothing else to do. People be asking me, what would you be doing if you weren't doing comedy? I'd be something dope. Like, for real. And it was only because it was, it's hard to get up any other way as a black man. Well, now things might be turning different because of the way society is going. But to me, I wasn't built for no job. I wasn't built to go to work. People get on my motherfucking nerves. And I'm not one of them people that's just gonna let shit go. So, I still had some work to do on myself.
Right.
Because even in comedy, it's a business. You know what I'm saying?
That's what a lot of people forget.
And it's a lot of people that still do a lot of shady shit. And then I might have to let them chains off that door. Because you playing with my money, and I can't tell the light bill people, well, just promote it and give me my money that he promised me. So could you give me a little time? No, I had to reinvent myself on being more of a businessman to it, and that takes a lot of patience. Coming from where I come from and what I know, I come from a lot of aggressive shit. My mother, I get a lot of my funny shit from my mother and my grandparents. And my grandparents, they always told me to respect people and showed me how to respect situations go. And they showed me what happened when you disrespect us. My grandfather wasn't nothing to play with. He just whooped me twice. That's all he had to do. Whoop me twice. But, I mean...
You in comedy now. First time you tell the guys, all right, I'm leaving the block. It's over.
I told the guys on the block now. That's crazy that you said that because I was on... I had just came home. I came home from jail when I really got serious. And I'm going to tell you, without having to tell you, there's some stuff went down on the block that I almost had to be the old me. And one of my guys, he was like, man, no, man, don't do that, man. And he was like, really, he wasn't telling me not to do it because he didn't want me to do it. He was like, man, it's too many of these people that we don't know. Like, it was cats over there that wasn't cut from our cloth. They wasn't our age, and they would have told on me. So he was like, man, let's leave it alone. So from that conversation, it was my boy Mike Hawkins. So my man, he told me that, and then like later on that night, I was sitting on the porch thinking, and I was just contemplating about me going to jail, the things I could have went to jail for, that I was blessed and didn't go to jail for. And I was like, man, I gotta leave this shit alone, for real. I already had came home from the joint, you know what I'm saying? So
How long did you do it?
I did like 4.5 in Minnesota Correctional Facility. That didn't even make me think. I had to go to the hole for a year to really sit down and first open my mind, but that's a whole nother.
Damn, you did a year in the hole?
A year in the hole. Everybody be saying, like, you look at TV and you think the hole is this dark room with rats running around and a sink dripping and stink on the floor. This was an amazingly clean place that I was at.
Okay.
And I was like, shit, nigga, I'm cool in here by myself. I ain't gotta be, shit. I gotta be worrying about nothing. I ain't gotta be arguing with nobody. And I was kind of like a loner, but to be said you're gonna be in there for a year, my mind didn't even think about, damn, I might go crazy. And the reason is my great grandmother wrote me a letter when I told her I was in a hole for a year. She said, well, think of it like when you was a kid and you didn't have no brothers and sisters. Because I'm the oldest, and you played in the room by yourself. You used to play in the backyard by yourself. You used to go out, you did a lot of things by yourself before you had brothers and sisters. So I had to put my mind state back to, by myself. And when I was in the joint, they wouldn't give you no books. When I was in the hole, they wouldn't give you no books or nothing, right? But they couldn't deny you religious books. And I didn't know that until a black guard. I was in, and I talk about this prison because I couldn't stand it. It was called Moose Lake. one of the most racial places in Minnesota, and the prison is built underground. So only time you might see some sunlight is if you got a window, and I don't even think they had windows in the cells, but I knew they had windows in the hole. And that is kind of, to me, one of the most craziest things, to have a clock on the wall and you can look out a window. Because the earth is moving, it's going.
Right.
You looking outside and you thinking, and you contemplating on either your mind gonna get right or your mind gonna go crazy. And me being by myself, when the dude gave me the religious books, first book he gave me, he's like, man, I see you can't get no books and you can't get this. He said, but they can't deny you this book. He said, man, go on, check it out. It got a lot of stories in it. And I was laying on my thing and he had pushed to do the chuck hole. I'm like, yeah, all right. I got up the next morning and looked at it. It was the Bible. And I laughed because I remember him saying, it's a lot of stories in the book.
Yeah.
I was like, so I read it and then I had to write a letter and tell them I need all the religious books that y'all have. And they gave it to me. I had like 15, I went from the Quran, the Torah, whatever, and I just started reading. I already came from a religious background because of my great-grandparents, but to be in that space by yourself, I had to take my mind out of it. And then at the time, that made me formulate, how can I not get back in here?
Right.
Because this was the first time in my life that I ever thought, being out on the streets, I'm running, I'm selling dope, I'm fucking these bitches, I'm doing all of this, and I ain't thinking about nothing but the weekend. I gotta get this outfit, I gotta get this hat, I gotta go get my car wash. I never really thought about the future till I got in there, and I was like, man, I can't come back in here. This ain't where I'm supposed to be.
No.
And before I got to the hole, another thing that clicked on me was I was looking at, Comic View, and I seen all of my friends that I kind of started with popping up on TV. And I was like, nigga, that's what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. I ain't supposed to be in here with these niggas. And these are niggas in here in relationships and shit. Look at my girl Mo Good, comedian Mo Good in the building.
Come on, hop on in here.
Yeah, so after that situation, I just started thinking about how not to get back in there.
What played a factor in you leaving the crib and going to Atlanta?
No, the truth was me leaving the crib, going to Atlanta, because I knew there was so many people dying. That was like close friends of mine. Mm-hmm. And I come from the era of I got to get my lick back. When something happened to one of your friends, we come from like when we was kids and we be outside fighting, coming out, mama, who's gonna hit me? Nigga, you better go out there and hit him back.
We was raised that way.
So it just formulated into a thing, and I lost I think something out to them there 26 people from gun violence right after my brother. And that 1 week I lost somebody every day. And that's what put me into that depression mode. And I didn't even know I was depressed until one of my buddies was like, man, you acting different, you moving different. I'm like, man, she said, man, you sure you ain't depressed? And I'm like, nigga, I'm a gangster, I ain't finna be depressed. He said, you ever watch a gangster movie? I said, all the time. He said, you ever see when they be looking in the wind and that music come on? He said, nigga, they depressed.
Nigga, that's you.
That's you, nigga. Said,
and you looking at the wind.
He said, you my man, so I know you ain't moving right, something wrong. And then I had to get on, you always get on the internet and you trying to find out this, that, and the other. And then I got to thinking, I was like, damn, I am depressed. And I figured out what is the only thing that make me not depressed? Being on stage, making people laugh. A lot of us as men don't want to admit that we depressed or even come to the realization of talking to somebody about it. You don't want to. You might not have the right medical to sit down on the couch and talk to the therapist or something. So I was like, man, talk to somebody. You can start off. You can get in an Uber and ride for 20 minutes and talk to the Uber driver. He ain't gonna know you. He ain't gonna see you no more.
Right.
But you got to get it off your chest. That's a good start. When you get it off your chest, then you feel better. You start moving better. Start thinking better. You go talk to your pastor. Go talk to your auntie. Go talk to somebody.
Talk to your barber, your
hairstylist. Don't talk to motherfuckers that be in everybody's business. Don't talk to their ass. I started the Comedy Over Depression movement in the foundation of building up money to make comedy shows across the country that are geared towards people realizing comedy is a medicine for depression. The reason to leave Chicago is I knew that I was gonna kill somebody. If I'd have stayed there, I was gonna kill somebody. So I was like, man, let me go down here. It started for me going down there for a weekend, and my man Double D told me, I'm finna get you booked in a couple places. Double D got on the phone, I don't know who all he called, but I was booked up for 2 months. I had got so laid back and chilling one day, I heard an ambulance. I didn't know what it was. I told my sister, I was like, what is that noise? She was like, nigga, it's an ambulance. I said, shit, I thought that was ice cream truck, but I ain't heard that music in a long motherfucking time. So I done got shot 5 times before. That's another thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand when you get shot, you don't want to get shot no damn more.
This past year, 2020, we lost a lot of people, and we almost lost you. Actually, to the COVID. You was the first. So let me say this. Before you caught the shit, I was like, boy, niggas ain't catching no COVID. Like,
yes.
I'm like,
yes.
This white people finally getting their just desserts. Like, this is a white people disease, and God is purging the land, and we finally, they go 400 years of slavery is going to just wipe all the slave masters generations away.
All the white people that their ancestors
wasn't shit. It's for the catch it. And then you caught the shit, and I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Comedian. And I don't even think, because nobody else said, I think I'm the first nigga.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't talking about black man. I'm the first nigga.
You the first nigga to catch the shit.
So.
Because Rudy Gobert ain't really full nigga. He like half French and shit.
The funniest thing of it is, I was listening to one of them woke dudes. The dudes is woke. Man, fuck them. They better go to sleep because that shit had me thinking, that COVID can't get past our melanin.
That's what I was saying. Boy, I got Hennessy, ginger ale, and melanin.
And that's what
happened. Fuck
so
out of here.
When I said it on stage, it might have been March 15th. I had my 50th birthday thing. Packed both days, popping. She's my assistant. We together. She slinging the t-shirts. I'm doing what I'm doing on stage. Man, all of a sudden, like 15, 16, 17, 18. 18th, I'm about to go back to Atlanta. Wake up in the morning, I got this little tea in my throat. I need some tea. Little holes in it.
Yeah.
So I get on a plane to go back to Atlanta. Not knowing, the crazy part was I think God was trying to keep me here because the plane, I had missed 2 flights. I didn't miss them. They was canceling. They was canceling stuff because of COVID, but behind the lines, we didn't know what it was.
Right.
Everything was going slowly. We had a tour that I was supposed to do, an Alpha Male tour.
I remember.
They had called that weekend. Everything that I had to do, it was going to add up to $25,000. From interviews to the tour to other stuff. That one weekend I was here from the 15th to 18th, shit started getting canceled. I couldn't even go into GCI no more. It was like, no, ain't nobody coming to GCI. I had an interview with them. I'm like, man, the last thing before then, that was probably the last event was my birthday party. And they was talking about closing riddles. But they was like, man, we're gonna do this one, and we're gonna see. After that, the next week, they closed riddles. But I get on this plane, I still got that little shit in my throat. I go to sleep on the plane all the time. So I'm asleep, I woke up, I was kind of hot and feeling weird. And I had a layover, like a 20-minute layover in Orlando, there from Orlando to Atlanta. So I actually got on 2 planes. So I wake up, I ain't feeling good. Go get me some water. I don't know what the fuck it is. Whatever wrong with you. The motherfucker said, go get some water. Here's water.
Yeah.
So I go get some water, and the water was $6. I said, what? It's got to be Jesus water. What the fuck is in this water? The airport shit hot.
Being in the airport like being in the movie theater.
So I go and get the water and sit down and get on the next plane. When the flight lands and I wake up, I swear to God, somebody was sitting behind me and just threw a bucket of water on me. I was that hot. Like, what the fuck? So I gets up and I'm so weak, I I had to wait a minute to pull myself up, out of the chair. And I'm walking, and I'm like, man, what the fuck is wrong with me? And I'm thinking in my mind, man, I know I ain't got that shit.
Right.
It ain't supposed to get past my melanin. What the fuck is wrong with me? I must got the flu. I never had the flu, and I never had a pneumonia. So I call my girl, and I said, look, you gotta take me to the emergency room. Not like I can call, I text her. At that time, you can't say nothing out loud like that.
Yeah.
People be like, oh, this nigga got this.
Yeah, they locked your ass clean up in the
panic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It took me, now the plane in Atlanta, you get out the plane, you gotta go to like a little train.
Yeah.
And the train to take you to your luggage.
Yep.
So it took me 45 minutes to walk from that, getting off the plane to the thing. That's how tired and how weak I was. And I knew in my mind, I said, man, I'm gonna pass out. Only thing in my mind that made me not pass out was I was thinking in my mind, somebody gonna film me and gonna say, Baldhead fella in the airport and his shoe came off. Fuck that. I said, I can't have that on my motherfucking conscience. I got to be strong, so I'm walking to this motherfucker. And I'm taking my time, but by the time I get there, my bag is the only one on the thing, and it ain't even rolling no more. That's how long I had been. My whole flight had left. They was finna actually come take my bag and put it in a little room. So I got my bag. I text my girl, and I said, man, you gotta take me to the hospital. I get in the car, I get in the back seat. She said, what's wrong with you? I said, I don't know. I think I got that shit. Shot me to the hospital, to the emergency room. Go in the emergency room, they got me in there a couple hours. They said, oh, you just got strep throat. So them same two things they stick up your nose, they put them in the back of my throat. They told me you got strep throat. I went home for 2-3 days thinking, ooh, I'm cool. I ain't got that shit. But by that time, it was downhill, and it had got all the way up in my lungs. Lungs fluid like crazy. I could not breathe. Girl said, get your ass up. We finna go to the emergency room. Went to the emergency room. And motherfucker said, y'all said I can't come in there. I got to leave him here. I'm gonna need him back. So whatever y'all gonna do what y'all gotta do. I went in there, motherfucker said, one, I had viral pneumonia. That was the highest pneumonia. It was very contagious. So they had to put me in the observation room. They gave me the COVID test, then swabbed both of my nose. 2 days later, doctor come in. And a lot of them doctors that be from overseas, they don't have no sensitivity training. This motherfucker come tell me and say, Mr. Phillips, I want to let you know you took a test for the COVID and you have the COVID. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm watching the news and motherfuckers getting the COVID is dying.
Right.
And he said that right directly after he said, you're from Chicago? Yes. You know they're doing a documentary on Michael Jordan in Chicago? I said, man, you don't get the You just told me I was finna die. I don't care about him. Man, I told the lady, I said, if y'all bring dude in my room again, I might be weak, but I'm gonna use everything I got to kick his ass. Cause he just pissed me the fuck off for him. I got to figure out what's my next move, cause I know I'm out of here. And then they told me, they was like, your lung capacity is 13%. You got so much fluid. The fluid that I had that was the COVID. And I got diabetes, but I have where you take a pill. I don't take the
right, you don't do the insulin, right.
So they was like, your blood sugar was 895. The lung doctor came in. I'm thinking that lung doctor was the doctor at the time. The lung doctor said, man, I don't know how you sit up there just talking like this, man. He said, man, you supposed to be in 2 different comas, man. 2 different comas. So he said, I'm not gonna put you, and I thank God for that dude, man. He said, I'm not gonna put you on a ventilator. He said, because I don't trust it. Now, this is in March.
Right,
this
is when they said the ventilator was supposed to be what you needed.
Right,
that shit was killing people.
He told me, we're gonna work all these levels of this oxygen till we get you out of here, Mr. Phillips. And the only reason it was, now I think I got different treatment because one of the nurses that were in there, when she came in, because they would have to come in and be fully dressed, I would have to have my mask on before they gave me the antibiotics and all of that stuff. I think she came in there and my mask was off because I was asleep. And she said, excuse me, wake up. She said, wake up, you gotta put your mask on. So I put my mask on, and what she was doing, she said, let me ask you something. You from Chicago? I'm like, yeah. She She said, I know you. I know your baby mama. I'm like, oh, this bitch finna kill me. What is you putting in this IV?
I know your baby mama. Why she?
Why she putting that?
I got you, girl. I heard the story. Fuck this nigga. Nobody will ever know.
Yeah, nobody would ever know. But she was like, man, I know your. She said my son name. My son named Shaquille. She was like, you Shaquille daddy. I'm like, yeah, how are you? She was like, I grew up over there on 71st. She was like, you might not remember me. She started naming up people and everything. She was like, man, you in here? She said, you got to get up out of here. Now, I didn't know with her being a nurse, she knew what was going on. I seen one time when a body rolled past and it was wrapped up. And another nurse was in. I was like, what was that just went past? She was like, that was the person that died from the COVID. And I was like, bitch, I got the COVID. What you mean? He just died from the COVID. But that was one of 4 bodies I seen. So I'm fucked up. Like, man, they ain't finna send me up out of here like no saran wrap meat or no lunch platter. I got to get the fuck out of here. So that nurse told the doctor that I was a comedian. And the doctor, he had never said nothing about it. But he was like, you blessed, I'm gonna get you up out of here. You gotta get you up out of here. And so the other nurses was coming in my room and they was telling me, look, this is what you gotta do. You gotta practice on breathing. They gave me this thing that you breathe into and a little ball go up.
I seen them.
And she said, this one nurse said, I don't care what you're doing. And when it hurts, I still need you to do it. She said, because your lungs, everything is like it's a muscle. I need you to work that muscle. So your oxygen be straight. She said, your levels be fucked up because of everything that's in you. We're trying to get this fluid up out you so you can breathe right. And so I got up from it was like the bed. Every little thing made me think, I can't be in here. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
So when they were so petty, my lung doctor had to leave because he had some type of death in his family. So the new doctor that took over was like, man, you can go home tomorrow, but you gotta buy this oxygen. This oxygen you gotta be in your house. I'm like, I got a bag? He was like, yeah. And then right when he said that, a body went past. I said, man, how much is that shit? I'm in the fuck up out of here. Y'all got me fucked up. I'm gonna get out of here, man. I got to go. So I lay up and they told me it was $200, for $250 for the initial thing, $200 a month. I said in my mind, that same strength that I had from walking from that and not passing out, walk from that plane to that train thing and not passing out, I told myself, well, I'm not gonna be paying for nothing but a month. And the lady was like, no, we ain't looking. I said, I'm not finna be on this shit. And if I die, I'm going home to die. I'm not finna die in this motherfucker. My family don't know what's going on. Don't nobody know what's happening.
Right, because you couldn't have no company, no visitors.
But the crazy part was my phone wouldn't work. Their reception wasn't shit. But my Facebook, they had the best Wi-Fi in the world, best Wi-Fi. So my FaceTime would work, and my FaceTime Messenger.
Facebook Messenger.
Messenger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the thing that turned everything around for me, my daughter, 10 years old, and me and my baby always talk on the phone. Her mother didn't know what was going on with me neither, so when I called her, you got your phone on speakerphone, people can hear. So I think my daughter's in the other room. And I was telling her, I was like, listen, I'm fucked up. I don't know how this gonna go. But at the time, I'm in the hospital, I'm looking scruffy as hell, I done got the tubes up my nose and all of that. And just so happened that my baby jumped on her mama's bed and was like, hey, Daddy, and looked at me, and then she just broke down crying.
In a perfect world, what does your career look like, bro?
In a perfect world, it would be no cancellations and no boundaries like it used to be. What a comic has to say. But to me, in a perfect world, I would have my own talk show, and I could talk about anything. Anything, I could say anything.
Boy, I'm scared of that.
And it's gonna be
a Baldhead talk show?
Yeah, it's gonna be real. I mean, that's why I got my podcast. Baldhead's podcast is probably the closest thing that I can get to, because on podcast you can kind of skate a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? But it would be where I would be on TV on a Wednesday or every night, you know, and the show would be popping. And wouldn't nobody trip over nothing. Because people trip over you saying shit.
Michael Jordan wouldn't be able to make it in this era. Like the way Michael Jordan moved back in the 90s, smoking cigars, gambling and shit.
His tongue out. What is, oh my God, it's so offensive.
His tongue is offensive. What is he trying to say?
What the fuck?
The nigga hooping, man. Shut the fuck up.
You don't know.
Bernie Mac wouldn't make it. They would crucify Bernie right now, bro.
They crucified shit out of Bernie. Fuck them kids? Nigga. Fuck them kids. To me, I feel like fuck them.
Even worse than that, when he was like, the faggot said, get some milk. Boy.
The faggot
listen, they would have came back and said, Bernie can't host the Oscars because...
Do you know what fag really is?
A cigarette.
A fucking cigarette. How could you be mad at a cigarette? Two things that I think that went down in history. Fast food ain't fast, no goddamn more. And you can't say what the fuck you want to say no more.
You can't say shit.
No, you can't say it.
They can't say a motherfucking thing.
And if I say anything on here and I offend anybody, I don't give a fuck. One of the comedians that I fuck with real hard, Jess Niece, she's the first comedian that I know of that brought rape to the stage and made it funny as hell. So I'm looking at her, I'm like, if a motherfucker laugh at somebody getting raped, the way she talks about it and the way she does it, and that even made me think about, you know, you gotta rewrite some stuff and you gotta make it funny, make it personal. Because if you talking about, you know, they canceling everybody, you say something about somebody being gay, you know, the LGBTQ, I don't know if I left that out. That's, to me, they're a whole nother game. They're a whole nother game.
I think you got all the letters, yeah.
Because they bullying people now.
Oh yeah, they didn't turn into the bully. Yeah, they definitely turned to the bully.
I'm gonna say what the fuck I want to say. It's just, how can I say it to be respectful, not to be scared of them, but just be respectful as a human being. Well, comedy to me means everything. It means everything. You know, it feeds my kids. It makes me happy. I was going through a depression stage not too long ago.
I seen the movement.
My brother died of some complications with his kidneys, and we had to go to Michigan to go to see him. And my brother was a comedian. It was Floyd J. Phillips. That was always my hero when it came to comedy, because the writing that he did was, to me, the writing that my brother did was in the range of Dave Chappelle. And he, the camaraderie that we had was crazy, because he would always say, "You ain't funny." I'm like, "Nigga, you ain't funny." You know, when we see each other's accomplishments, be like, "Yeah." And we happened to do like two shows together. And that nigga told me, I was in front of an all-white crowd, he was like, "Nigga, you smashed them people, but I ain't gonna never tell nobody that." I wish I would. If you asked me in front of God, I'm gonna say you lied. He was an asshole. I found out at his funeral that he was an asshole just like me to his peers.
Right.
I didn't even know that this nigga was this. He had a comedian that called him one day. Somebody else told him, it's like, "Man, you want to get on, man? Get up with Floyd J. Get up with Floyd J." Man, this nigga told the dude, he said, "Man, let me hear a joke, man." It's on the phone. He said, "Let me hear the joke." The dude said he did the joke when he got to the punchline. My brother hung up. He never called him back, nothing. He was like, "Got it." Trash. He said he didn't hear my brother from a whole nother year. And he said he called him out the blue. He was like, "All right, let me hear a joke." So he said, "Okay, you get a couple of giggles out of that." He said, "I got a show and I need an opener. Want to open up for me?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, "All right, well, pick me up at such time." I said, this nigga just really used this nigga for a ride to the show. My brother was dumb as hell, man. But he made me know my first headshot. He made me know how serious this shit was, business-wise, because he had been doing it. He had won a bunch of shit. He had won the black competition. I can't remember what it is, but he won a lot of shit. The only difference between, he had never been on TV, but he done been overseas like crazy. He was like the dude who did all the stuff for the army bases and all of that. And that was another thing he used to roast me about, because he knew at the time, because of my prior situations, I couldn't get no passport. So that nigga was like, you ain't been no motherfucker where. I said, nigga, I've been on TV. Guess what TV go? Everywhere. He was like, you right about that. I had probably like one joke, and it was about people being nosy. I said, everybody knows. Everybody in this place is nosy. I said, but I got a nosy detector when it comes to your house and your bathroom. Because I don't care who nobody is. When they go in your bathroom, they going in your medicine cabinet. Niggas don't even know what they looking for, but they go in your medicine cabinet. So what I do is, I put a bunch of marbles in my motherfucking medicine cabinet. As soon as they go their nosy ass in, gling, 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 yeah, come on, get your ass up out of my house, come on, because you know it's here. And that was the only joke I had at the time.
Let me ask you this, man. Your first time bombing. Your first bomb. How long was it into the game before you bombed? Because I had a good run before I had my first bomb. My first bomb was like a year and a half after I got back into the game. And oh, that shit hurt, nigga. Like, it was like the pretty girl telling you that you ugly and your breath stink in front of everybody. Like, it just, your first bomb, tell me.
My first bomb, I ain't gonna lie, it was in Minnesota at a place called the Riverview. Now, I had been doing a comedy, you know, a little before that, but I wasn't serious. And this is when, and this was before, no, this was after I got out of jail. So I went to Minnesota, and B. Cole and them had been doing a show up there at this place called the Riverview, but B. Cole didn't have it no more. One of the guys from off the block, on 69th, he had it. He just was doing comedy. His name was Devonell. So he bring me up to the stage. I'm doing good all of a sudden, but this was right after the O.J. Simpson thing. Him and his wife, Nicole,
Boy,
all that.
You going way back. Shit.
So the craziest thing was I had a joke that I knew was funny, and everywhere else I did it was hilarious. And I said, y'all, fellas, your hands ain't made to be putting on no women. You keep your hands off these women. You know, you put your feet on them and you stomp their motherfucking brains out. Hey, when I tell you now, y'all laughing.
I'm laughing because I'm already knowing how these people looked at you.
These people all turned into mannequins. And that's when I realized getting booed ain't bad at all. But when they staring at you, nigga, no reaction after you know you done threw this ball that's a pass.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like I know I killed.
I was a G about it. I took it. And right when I was finna leave, I had said some shit that cleared my name. I was like, I want to thank y'all for watching me. My name is B. Cole. Peace out. And walked off stage. Motherfucker walked past me like, hey, B. Cole, I remember hearing you, I'm in love with the crowd. I was like, yeah, thank you. And I heard him, got the fuck about it. Because I feel when you bomb, you supposed to leave. You supposed to leave. Don't shake nobody's hand. Don't talk to nobody. It was an open mic. So it was so bad that they didn't have no more confidence in me or anything else I said. But then that same joke I did on Comic View. Blew the water off. It blew the roof off the place. That was the first joke I opened up, and that was in New Orleans, Comic View, the comedian spotlight thing. But after that, you know, the next time I bombed was in front of my peers. I had been hitting shows out the park. Doing my thing, man. I did a show at Damon's joint, the Razzmatazz. Let me tell you who was there though. This one made it even worse. It was the auditions for Bad Boys. First audition, you got B. Cole, Marlon Mitchell. You got Dion home, D-Ray home, Kenny Howe. Tornado popped up. I don't even know what the fuck he was doing. He was just there. But it was so many hitters from the shot. Corey Holcomb, all of them was there.
Everybody was there.
Everybody was there, nigga. I'm knocking shit out the park, though. I'm finna go up. I'm finna smash. You know, I go up there, and them people looked at me like I had doo-doo on my face. And I knew in my mind that I got to keep going, and the shit got deep. It just was more doo-doo, more doo-doo. I'm just in doo-doo. I'm covered in it. I'm covered in doo-doo.
Up to your neck.
And I can't say nobody name.
Cause they all there.
Cause they all there. Hey man, I still had the rule though. I came up with the rule in my mind: if I ever do bad, I'm just leaving. You know, I gotta leave it. I'm gonna come back. I'm leaving up out of there. I done stunk up the whole stage. I think Damon got on there with some lights on and went shh. So I'm trying to creep out. Who out here? Marlon. Baby. Come on. Let's talk about that stank you just put on the stage. We gotta disinfect the stage. They got to put all type of effort. I go over there and Kenny said, man, sit your ass right here. I sat down. I'm sitting down in like a sofa. All of these niggas right here. When I tell you every last one of them, from Corey to Kenny, you know Kenny, that's one of my mentors.
Love Kenny,
Tornado,
man.
One of my mentors, they all fire me up. And it had to happen because I'm supposed to be representing for the Shy.
For the crib,
Bad Boys audition.
Yeah.
Nigga, you bomb at the Bad Boys? Man, I don't even remember everything they said, but everything they said made me say, I swear to God, I'm not finna bomb no more. I'm not. You gotta know your crowds. You gotta know your things. Like a lot of comics, they be like,
they don't read the room.
I don't go check the crowd out. I ain't gotta do that. All right, nigga. When you sit up there talking about somebody or talking about a subject, and the audience you got is those age group of people, you could offend them or you can have them laughing. Right. You gotta know what to say. You gotta know who you talking to. Mm-hmm. That's just like, I'm gonna cuss my nephew out. I ain't finna cuss my mom out.
Right.
You know my mom gonna say, who the fuck is you talking to?
Right.
After a couple of slaps. you gotta right. know who you talking to. So that nigga, them two bombs, that one in Minnesota, I didn't pay no because didn't nobody know who I was.
Yeah.
But that motherfucker there, it wasn't even the fact of the audience. I didn't give a damn about the audience.
In fact,
everybody was like, come on. And Kenny told me after that, he said, man, don't trip. He says, it happens. He said, just don't let it happen again.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. So I, got my shit together. When I got I got a call one day from Dion Cole, and he was like, man, they let me host Marlon's First Amendment. So in my mind, when he was telling me that, I was like, oh, that's good, my nigga. Do your thing, boy. What you need me to do? He's like, I need you to go on there and I need you to be Baldhead. And I was like, oh shit, hell yeah, okay. So I had, and he told me, then he said, nigga, do not let me down, because I'm vouching for you. This my name, and do what you gotta do. I said, got you. When I went to do it, I knew that they was promoting it a certain way, but I wanted to promote the show that I was on. So I went to the producers and I said, y'all need to give me some flyers. Give me some flyers and I'm finna pack this motherfucker out. And this is Chicago theater.
Right, I remember.
I had never been in the Chicago theater. I had an audience and all that, but I wanted all my audience to come there. So I got like 1,500 flyers for 2 weeks. Every day I went downtown. It was so regular that the dude who did the flyers would come out, I would pass back, traffic downtown, you can't be pulling over. He would throw them in the bin in my truck and I keep on rolling. And I would get on the block and bust them down like a pack until all my niggas pass these out. And he was like, man, we don't be passing no flyers, nigga. Pass them flyers out so I can get y'all in the show and it could be tight. Got down there, did it. When I walked in the audience, I walked to look in the audience, because like that's how I always check the audience out. Everybody was in there that I knew. I'm talking about from the balcony to everywhere. I went to CVS, so my high school alumni presence was crazy. Mm-hmm. Street cats I had cats coming down there that had never, and I didn't know it till we got outside, had never really fucked with downtown. One of my boys was like, I don't even be coming down here. I'm thinking he talking about to the theater.
Right.
And I was like, man, nothing wrong with this theater. He said, man, I ain't talking about that theater. I don't be coming downtown. I said, nigga, what? So my sister, she was like, a lot of niggas don't be coming out the hood. She said, but nigga, you brought the hood out. The train been full of niggas that you know. The highway. And I was like, damn. So when I felt I had that rock star moment, it's when they said my name, when Dion said my name and brought me out, the whole Chicago theater stood up. And to get a standing ovation before you do any of your work,
Yeah.
it's like two things. It's like amazing to see, and then it's like they basically said, "Yeah, nigga, you better do your thing. You better do your thing, or you can't come back." I was like, God, that's so. I mean, I rocked it. I rocked out. Had a great motherfucking set. Had a great time. But what made me feel that really rock star moment, when it was over with, I had to come outside, and outside the Chicago Theater on the left hand side is like an alley.
Yeah.
I'm in the alley trying to come down off this high. The whole audience come out after it was over with. It was me, Jay Phillips, and Faison Love. After they came out, the whole audience, I never had that many people. It sounds funny. I ain't never had that many people surround me in the alley.
For a good cause.
Man, it was good. And it was like people that were seeing me that had never, they knew, it was like people on the block that, like I said, they ain't come to comedy, ain't going nowhere. They seen me in a whole different light. Like, nigga, you a star. And I'm thinking in my mind, I ain't nobody, you know, I always say like, I ain't nobody but Brenda oldest boy. You know, I ain't no star, because I don't have this star mentality. I don't look at shit like a bit. But that was the first time, and I was like, I can't stop doing this shit. This is where I need to be. This is it for me. And that was my motherfucking rock star moment. And I had a lot of pussy after that. But it was cool. You got diabetes, you're a diabetic. I'm gonna tell you what the doctor told me changed my life. All that workout, all that changed your life, all that for your kid. When none of that shit worked, that motherfucker told me one thing, got my mind right. He said, if you don't eat right and get your diabetes in order, your dick ain't gonna work. I said, nigga, what? Nigga, why the fuck they didn't tell me? Why they got that on no brochures and nothing, nigga? That should be on billboards. Every motherfucker I be running track and doing, nigga, what? And you dealing with a black woman you've been dealing with for years, you found out you got diabetes, your dick don't work? Nigga, you can't blame it on the sugar. I ate a Snickers. No, nigga, you been fucking that bitch. Ain't no Snickers done that. Get your shit together.